Hello there and welcome to the channel. This is Nerd World Order, and in today's video we are looking at GCHQ, otherwise known as the Doughnut, as it is sometimes called. This is Government Communication Headquarters, basically Spook Central in the United Kingdom. Before we get started, please like, share, subscribe and comment down below, as this channel in particular is very much still in the development stages and I'm a little behind with my uploads due to a computer error that kind of destroyed most of my recordings, hence why I've not uploaded to this channel in a while. If you check the link below, you'll find links to my website, which is brand new, as well as all of my other more well-established channels, Nerd World Films and Nerd World History. And to be honest, I was actually flipping a coin as to whether or not originally this video was going to be on Nerd World History, but I decided, as it's more to do with law enforcement, we're going to go with this channel. And to clarify, this is specifically mostly going to be focusing on the building itself and what it does and what it's for, not so much necessarily the agency, as it's kind of shadowy. They're not as well publicized as, say, the DoD in the USA. God, America's got a lot of those, hasn't it? Anyway, let's get started on this video. So, in brief, to cover the basic history and backstory of GCHQ, it effectively has its origins in the First World War. Before 1919, the British Army, Royal Navy and other agencies had separate command structures, MI1 basically. These were collectively known as Room 40. Now, during the First World War, which was a new modern type of war, certain weaknesses in this command structure were exposed, and in the wake of that war, a decision was made to coalesce these agencies into what would become the GCHQ. In essence, they would take all the various different, and there are so many, too many to bother listing off here, but different military command structures, different intelligence gathering resources, and bring them together loosely into one principal location for command and administration purposes, to better coordinate between the different services and better facilitate communication between the different branches of the armed forces and intelligence services, as well as information gathering agencies and telecommunication programs of the British Empire at the time. Now, of course, there have been many restructures since, but in principle that is basically what it was. It had a separate building, of course, in the past, but as time has gone on, the GCHQ's requirements, plus an increase in manpower and differing global threats, resulted in the need for something a little different. So that's the basic backstory of the GCHQ. So on to the Doughnut itself, the actual topic of interest in my video here. Of course, throughout the Cold War, the GCHQ had functioned perfectly well from the facilities at large that it had, but the new structure of the world, new technologies and other such things fitting into old buildings, they were becoming a little long in the tooth, and by the 1990s it was pretty clear to everyone a new facility would be needed. Now, one of the things, of course, which would spearhead this decision was the 9/11 terror attacks in the United States in 2001. A decision was made that a new, more modern facility, larger and much more efficiently made, purpose-built for the task, was going to be required to confront the new threats that the world was throwing at Britain and her allies. And this would be the basic foundation for the building that would become affectionately known as the Doughnut. This would be the largest construction project undertaken in the world at the time as a singular building. It is also a claim to fame for this building, the largest building of an intelligence service, military command structure outside of the United States. Basically, the Pentagon is about the only thing bigger than this thing. And one of the things the people that run this place want to have is a same sort of level of recognition and notoriety, but I know myself, being British, it's not really our thing to scream and shout, so I'm not surprised if a lot of people have never actually heard of it, even within this country. Although it is considered something of a local landmark in the southwest in Cheltenham where it is located, it's not as well known across the rest of Great Britain. But that said, In 2003, the decision was made to undertake construction, and, well, I'll rephrase that. In 2003, construction was completed and it was officially opened in 2004 by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. And since then, approximately 5,000 to 5,500 people have called it home, at least for work purposes. Those people are, again, connected to various different branches of intelligence, military services, and every other facility needed. Again, too many to really count off, but basically it is a singular point from which all the different intelligence bureaus such as MI5, MI6, as well as generally the Ministry of Defence and other such organisations all come together. Officially, it answers to the Foreign Office, to the Office of the British Foreign Secretary, should I say. Although the actual GCHQ and Institute itself, the Doughnut itself, does have its own in-place, permanent, non-politically appointed director. Now, all these different agencies over the next few years would leave their respective different buildings. Approximately 50 other buildings in total would coalesce and move all these different agencies into one singular location, streamlining everything to be even more efficient than what it had been before. This was all accomplished by approximately 2011. Now, although I can't find a concrete figure as to what this building actually costs to produce, there is an estimate that to run it for the next 30 years is going to cost approximately £800 million. Which is, in dollars, a lot. Probably about $1 billion. I'm not doing the math. You do the math. Now, in addition to that, it has cost just to move the equipment tens of millions of pounds to move the equipment, as it was all moved by the respective agencies for, of course, security reasons, which for security reasons, many of the aspects of this building are pretty much unknown. What we do know, it's approximately 200 meters across, and being spherical, it's pretty much 200 meters in diameter from whatever point of its center you wish to span out from, and is 4 stories high, although there are likely facilities underneath. There is also a rumored secondary location, because of course it's a bad idea to put all your eggs in one basket. The original mandate for the building was it's designed to house approximately 5 to 5,500 people, but the actual increase in workload and staffing which the GCHQ has incurred over the last few years has increased that number to approximately 6,500, which is more than the building was designed to accommodate. As a result, a secret, and it is secret because there is nothing I can find as to where exactly this building is, it is at a secondary location which houses the other people. Also, there is, of course, other locations from which all of these centralized organizations can be run from if anything was to happen to this building, similar to what happened, of course, to the Pentagon again in 2001. The idea of this building, of course, is to basically emulate the Pentagon in America and take what the Americans did there and translate it over here into our own version. The building is, though, very differently constructed to the Pentagon. The Pentagon was built during wartime rationing in 1941 and actually is constructed primarily of reinforced concrete and stone. GCHQ is made of steel, aluminium, and granite, primarily, as well as local sandstone, because of course we're not in the middle of a war unless you counted the war on terror. It is also designed to face a whole new theatre of enemies, so it was designed to weather such attacks. Although again there is no specific information as to how this building is specifically defended, it is certainly defended. It is also, basically you can't get near it. It's got an exclusion zone around it. You're not allowed in it. You're not allowed to go and video it. There's very little information about the inside of the building. It does have, what we do know, is it has inside it has shops and other forms of entertainment and recreation for the people, so they basically don't have to go off-site. Around the entire center of the building, it is basically divided in half with a promenade road running around the entire circumference of the facility, which, as a Star Trek fan, actually reminds me of the promenade from Deep Space Nine, which, as a building and a space station, also look kind of similar. I can't help but think of Atlantis vibes from this thing. It does actually kind of look like it, as you may be able to tell. Now, with that said, obviously I don't think they've designed this thing based on a Cardassian station used by the Federation in a fictional television series set 400 years in the future, but again, can't help but notice the similarities there. Some of the Doughnut's other features which are worth mentioning, as again we don't overly know because of everything's classified with this place, that much about a lot of it. We do know that, as an interesting feature, this building again is 4 stories high. These stories are connected at the top and at the bottom. The whole layout of the building, which is separated into 4 separate quadrants internally, is designed to minimize the effects of fire and or a terrorist attack, again spurred on by the unfortunate events of 9/11 on the attack on the Pentagon. The building is also serviced by an underground road that is easier to defend, is surrounded by a 2-meter high fence, obviously has guards and other interceptor technologies that prevent anyone getting near to it, as well as a closed system of its own computers, as well as an independent power generating capability in the event that anyone tries to tamper with the mains power supply to the building. All of these efforts mean that it is basically a self-contained little tiny city within a city, with food, stores, a restaurant internally capable of seating supposedly about 600 people, as again other facilities to service all the people inside. So all in all, a self-sufficient and very well crafted and designed facility to service the needs of the United Kingdom and its interests both domestically and overseas, and of course to unify all the different agencies under one roof in order to streamline the efficient service that these organizations have to deliver. So there we have GCHQ, the Doughnut. Again, sorry, there isn't really a lot on it, but I do find this building very fascinating and quite a cool looking design. So tell me what you think about it in the comments below, and tell me anything that I've missed. I'm sure there is stuff that I have missed about this building, but I wanted to talk about the stuff that I definitely know is true, at least from all the different sources I can find, such as the British government websites. Now, with that said, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, again, comment down below, and please check out my other channels, especially if you've come from one of those other channels. Let me know in the comments below, because I keep linking this channel to them. Curious to know if anyone's coming over. If you did, hi. With that said, bye-bye.